Hi, welcome to Foodie. Today we're going to make a potato side dish. It's with a lot of Indian spices, so I guess we'll just call it Indian spiced potatoes. And we're going to use something I've never used before. It's called AMCHUR powder. It's dried mango, so if you can't find the AMCHUR powder in your local grocery store, see if they have a dried mango powder. I got this at our local Indian store. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. It's going to give it a, I don't know, maybe a sweet, sour, fruity taste on these potatoes. So let's get started. So I'm starting with about 1.5 pounds of potatoes, which would be 3 to 4 medium-sized potatoes, and I'm going to dice them. I've got a handy dicer here, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Meanwhile, I've got some water on the stove getting ready to heat up and boil. I like to use these dicers because it gives it a nice even cut on the potatoes. That way they cook more consistent. Like I said, I've got water here almost boiling. We're going to put our potatoes in this boiling water. We're only going to cook these for about 10 minutes because we're also going to fry them in butter and add a bunch of spices and stuff afterwards. So we're just going to get these, half cooked, let's say. And of course, depending on the size, you cube your potatoes. It might take a little less time and it might take a little more time. Don't worry too much if they're not cooked enough, because as we fry these, we can cook them that way. But you just want to make sure you don't overcook these so they don't get smashed and fall apart. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I don't want to add too much. When I do Indian food, there's so many spices in Indian food, you don't really need salt. While our potatoes are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get about 1 inch of ginger. Of course, Indian food uses a lot of spices. I'm going to get about 1 inch of this fresh ginger and we'll grate it. And then I'm also, the recipe called for 2 like chili peppers. These are our first peppers out of our garden this year, and Catherine just used one this morning and she said her hands were burning real bad from this. So I'm only going to use one. Again, it's to your liking of how hot you like it. All right, got my gloves on. Y'all can use just jalapenos if you want. I'd put in like 2 or 3 jalapenos, maybe 2 good sized ones. All right, let's get these diced also, or chopped pretty fine. All right, we got our peppers. Let's go ahead and chop up also pretty fine, about 1/2 of an onion. All right, we're back at the stove top. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of ghee, and that's basically a clarified butter. Again, I'm pretty sure you can get this at your local grocery store. To me, the ghee, I don't know, it just gives it such a nice, stronger, really good flavor. While the ghee's melting, I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of cumin seed. We can add in our hot pepper, our onion, and our ginger. All right, we're just going to stir this in and, let the pepper and the onion get softened a little bit. All right, let's add in 1 teaspoon of coriander seed. Didn't fit. And a teaspoon of chili powder. right? You got, oh, the fragrance. Oh, smells so good. Okay, let's add our potatoes. We want to coat these potatoes really good with all these spices. When you mix those spices in with ghee, it kind of makes like a little paste. So you get these potatoes covered, and then we'll cook the potatoes, maybe, until they're maybe starting to get a little crispy. Also, I need to run out to the garden and pull up a handful of cilantro. I think these are probably ready. Let me taste one of the potatoes. Yep, ready to go. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. It says to use a teaspoon. I'm just going to sprinkle what I think is a teaspoon. I want to fold this over just to get it mixed up in there good. I don't know if I mentioned this before. One of the Indian restaurants here in Houston I want to go to, hopefully here in the next few weeks. It's called Cowboys and Indians. So it's standard Indian food fused in with Texas kind of food and Texas style cooking. So it sounds really interesting. Okay, so now I'll sprinkle some more on top of this AMCHUR. And then top with some cilantro. Oh, man. All right, I got myself a little serving dish. Well, I really like that. It's very different. It's a very unique take on potatoes. It's got that Indian spices, which I really like, but that AMCHUR powder, the dried mango powder, really adds a little pizzazz to it. A little bit sour, a little bit fruity. Almost like a tamarind paste. So, and I think it might be better if you just fried the potatoes rather than boil them for a little bit and then fry them. I did make another batch before I put this video together, and I like the potatoes just totally fried first, and that ghee just gives it such a wonderful flavor. So very good recipe. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Foodie right over here. Thank you for watching.